Hey there, all you cool cats and kittens. Let's talk about tone today, shall we? This is an excerpt from the article that we did yesterday. A lot of you did a really nice job in finding tone words and phrases in specific sentences, but this marking period we're really working on moving past tone in specific sentences, even in specific paragraphs, to looking for overall tone of a written piece of work. Let's just look at this paragraph as a standalone paragraph and see if we get a general feeling. Then we'll even go further on finding specific words and phrases that are overwhelmingly to one specific tone. Children write messages with sidewalk chalk. In the late morning, some parents in their neighborhood walk their children to school to pick up lunch. They're also hunting for teddy bears at that time, Russo said. In the afternoons, children can be seen making chalk drawings of teddy bears. Some write inspiring messages on driveways and sidewalks, she said. A few parents are even hanging lines in their front yards to display their children's drawings of bears. One Oaklawn resident posted on March 23rd how proud she is to live in the neighborhood. Her daughter spotted 50 teddy bears on their walk that day. If you don't live in an area, you can start doing something similar in your neighborhood. Teddy bears aren't the only thing adding cheer to homes and lives in Lafayette Parish, Louisiana. In the Sawgrass Park neighborhood in South Lafayette Parish, rainbows are showing up all over the place. They're arriving even when there hasn't been a rain shower. So at this point, we should really kind of have an overall feel for the tone of the paragraph, even if it's something as simple as positive or negative. Maybe there wasn't really a specific tone that popped out and popped into your mind. You can at least narrow it down to is it positive or negative. So let's confirm maybe some of our ideas. In the late morning, some parents in her neighborhood walk their children to school to pick up lunch. They're also hunting for teddy bears. So I see the word teddy bears. I immediately have a feeling that's something that I'm going to highlight or maybe write in the margin. In the afternoon, children can be seen making chalk drawings of teddy bears. Some write inspiring phrases on driveways and sidewalks. Okay, so inspiring was another word that I felt really had a connotation attached to it. So that would be something, again, I would highlight or I would write it in my margin to really look at later. A few parents are even hanging lines in their front yards to display their children's drawings of bears. I, again, am attaching that to something my kids there's a general reaction when we take something of theirs from school and we put it on the refrigerator or we post it on our family Facebook, etc. Okay, that carries a very strong connotation with it as well. One Oaklawn resident posted on March 23rd how proud she is to live in the neighborhood. Her daughter spotted 50 teddy bears on their walk that day. If you don't live in the area, you can start something. Starting something, okay, generally has a feeling attached to it. Somewhere in your neighborhood. Teddy bears aren't the only thing adding cheer to the lives of in Lafayette Parish, Louisiana. In the Sawgrass Park neighborhood in South Lafayette Parish, rainbows are showing up all over the place, even when there hasn't been a rain shower. Okay, so those are some things and some words and phrases that I would have highlighted or, again, written in my margin. Now, just to give us a better understanding, let's just kind of think about what we would do if we were able to just get rid of all that extraneous text and just look at the words that we talked about. Okay, so we have teddy bears, we have inspiring, displaying children's drawings, proud, 50 teddy bears, start something, adding cheer, rainbows showing up all over the place. Looking at all of these now kind of in like a list, I'm really starting to generate some words and specific ideas for tone. I'm moving past my initial positive or negative reaction, and I'm starting to think about some more specific words that really kind of come to mind. Okay, so for me, words like, obviously we said, yeah, this is positive, all right? But I also went a little bit further, and these words popped into my head as I was looking at my list. Hopeful, optimistic, and celebratory. In the end, I think that if I were having to choose, I would say that this paragraph has a very optimistic tone. So let's apply these same strategies to an IXL lesson that we're going to work on. Okay, so we're going to be looking at 2 paragraphs, and the directions tell us to select the passage that has a more frightened tone. So again, as we're reading through, we're really looking for words that pop, words that have connotation. And again, start with your most basic connotations. Is it positive or is it negative? And then, guys, girls, we can begin to really narrow it down. Specifically with this, it's giving us a tone that we should be looking for. So we should be looking for words and phrases that either confirm or deny a frightened tone. The song was delivered with the full force and brilliance, I don't know, right off the bat I'm not liking it, of her magnificent voice. I feel like we're on strike 2 already. But remember, one sentence can be very positive, but we're looking for the overall tone of the paragraph. So it's very important that we kind of keep going, because some of these are going to be misleading, either purposely or maybe even not on purpose. Maybe just that's the way it worked out in terms of what excerpt was pulled and where the sentence started versus where the entire paragraph leads. It was prolonged until the thrill produced and the listener became almost painful. Now, painful kind of will support maybe frightened. You could see they both have a negative connotation, so I don't know. But I think in terms of like where we're going, right now we have 3 that kind of really deny frightened and only 1 word that really confirms in this intensity. Again, I ask, why did this world-famous singer perform this passage always in the same way? I don't know. I'm not feeling good about it. Let's take a look at the next paragraph and see if this has a more of a frightened tone. There came again the large voice. I don't know. I feel like that kind of is confirming frightened off the bat. If you're described, came again a large voice, it's definitely kind of leaning more towards frightened for me. And it was answered by a second voice, and the speech was slow, and it rose up out of the hollow, brutish, and hoarse. Okay, so all of those definitely carrying more of a negative tone, which relates more to frightened. And I would that I could make you hear it and be shaken with utter horror. Oh boy. And afraidness. Okay, so right there, guys, girls, I think that our answer is clear. I think we all would agree that it's the second passage that has a more frightened tone. But again, guys, girls, the great thing about IXL, let's say that we do one and we end up making a mistake and we pick the first one. Okay? It is incredibly important that you go down through and look at the explanations, guys, girls. Okay? It gives you a definition, just in case you're confused. But the most important thing, guys, girls, the second passage is more frightened in tone. It uses, words like hollow, brutish, hoarse, shaken, utter horror, which would suggest intense fear. Those are some of the things that we talked about. But again, guys, girls, if you happen to miss that, it's very important to go through. So then when you start your next one, you have an idea. Okay? If you're not sure of a tone, again, kind of look for root words, look for things that give you clues. And worst case scenario, guys, girls, look it up. Okay? Hopefully this goes well. It is a 7th grade standard. We're kind of moving past the more basic tone and going more into something a little bit more difficult. But I'm sure it'll go well if you use these strategies to solve finding tone in a passage. I'll talk to you later, and remember, as always, win the day. I'll see you soon.